Guys and girls, what's going on? It's Rob here this morning. I actually had someone come to my channel the other day and mention something about slot cars, saying, "Rob, I saw one of your first videos ever 6 months ago, and it's 2 or 300 back, you know." And I'm like, "Okay, which one did you see?" Excuse me. And I saw the one about slot cars. I said, "Okay," and I would like to know more about it, or I'd like to hear your background. I said, "Okay." And this is my background. Um, I've been a big NASCAR fan for 40 years, mid 70s, I'd say mid 70s. And went to races often before TV. And then once 79 hit and, the big Daytona 500 on CBS, it, exploded and went for the 80s and it was no holding it back, especially with stars like Yarborough, Petty, Waltrip, Earnhardt. There was no holding it back. Um, After I got out of high school, my youngest brother, a few years younger than me, um, my mom, I always wanted to drive my car, drive a car. Mom, I want to drive. Well, if you help watch your brother, well, that's fine. So I said, okay, let's find something that I can do that he will do or he will like to do. And so I had me a job, part-time job, and I started racing 134, 132nd and 124th cars. They were called Flexies and Womps. And you had to go to certain places that had routed and braided track in order to race them, and you had to buy time. You, you had to have your mind on it. Plus, you had to have your checkbook and wallet included into it because it was going to cost you a little bit to first get into it. I was lucky enough to have a friend that had some cars from the 60s and 70s, some 15s, some 27s. If you look into it, you can find out more about what I'm talking about. But these are some bad boys. These are 124 scale, and they would roll. They would move. I mean, if no way in it, if you could tell what color they were, you were doing well. But numbers on the side, there was no chance. I could put a number this big on the side of the car, and there was no way you could tell which. I could put a 15 on it, and you couldn't tell me it was a 1 or a 5 on it. It would be going by so fast. No way. That's how fast they were. So I got those cars from my buddy, and he just was looking to unload them. So I got into it a little bit and got into it a little bit more, and before you know it, I started racing them. And quote unquote racing them, you would pay for track time against seven other individuals, or sometimes 15 other individuals, if you were going to take turns. And I don't know, let's say pay $4. Let's say I don't know. Let's say you did that. And what the track master, the guy that ran the track, would get his 30% cut right off the top, and then the 70% would go, to the racers. The way kind of like a race pool of money. So I eventually got into that a little bit, and I started racing Womps, which are 132nd scale, and they were hard to keep on the track. And I still to this day don't understand why that is the starter car, because they are so hard. They're harder to keep on the track than a 124th scale Flexi. Flexi, you got a little more play with them. They're a lot faster car, and they cost more. I guess is the only reason. The 124th scale car costs more, but they're so much easier to drive. So I guess you can kind of call it like the Chevette to the Cadillac. Go out here and drive both of them on the highway. I guess it's easier to if you tear up a Cadillac, you're probably in deeper doo doo than you are if you tear up a Chevette, especially at a young age. So I started off with the Wamps, and I bought a couple of them. And my brother, I'd take him along with me, and he'd watch me race and stuff like that, and watch me practice. And I eventually just said, "What the heck, let's buy you a car too." So he was, uh, gosh, he wasn't even 10 years old, I guess. And I got him out there where he started racing rookie class or kid class, whatever you call it. And that was something for the weekends that I could do. I could spend my Saturdays and my Sundays where I could still get to drive my mom and dad's car and get to do something I wanted to do, and also take my brother and actually I had two brothers, and I'd take them to the track and they could go out and race as well. It eventually got to the point where I was spending more money and getting into it deeper and delving into it deeper, and eventually got into it where I wanted to race, not professionally so much, but I wanted to race against people all over. So I went down to the east coast of Virginia, which is about 4 hours from me. I'm in Virginia. Went down to Chesapeake area and raced a big Mid Atlantic race one weekend, and oh my gosh, we raced. It was a like a 2 hour GT race or something. That's what they called it. And so, you would race 10 minutes at a time, and then you get a 30-second break. 10 minutes at a time, 30-second break. And then eventually, I think it may have been 20 minutes and a 30-second break. It was just a small break. And at the end of the hour, I think maybe you got, at the end of the third 20 minutes, maybe you got 2 minutes or something in case you had to get water, go to the restroom. So my first time there, I got a second place. And I think it was like $25 entry fee. So I brought some money home. And but you find out real quick, if you race cars, I don't care what size, you can race a 1/64 scale, a 1/32 scale, a 1/24 scale, or a full size car. When you make money, you have to put money back into it. And it's really not a lot of money to be made unless you're probably the track owner and executive of something, something like that. But I was a kid having fun with it and all. And, eventually after the late 80s, it started fading away from me. And I started feeling like, I'm getting a little older. I don't feel like chasing my tail, going to Florida, going to South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, racing regionals and stuff like that. So I kind of faded away out of it. And 91 or 92 came back, and I decided, well, what the heck, you know what? I don't feel like getting out here racing the public 24 hours a day anymore, or every weekend, 30, 35 weekends a year. I don't feel like doing that anymore. So I started picking up my hobby, and I found a company in Baltimore, Maryland at the time called Lifelike. I got myself some cars, and this was a little later, I guess. This was the late 90s, had to be. I'll tell you why in a minute. But I got some earlier ones and some later ones as well. And I just started collecting Lifelike. Lifelike was saying we're 1,000 slot, how they put it, scale miles per hour, which I've tested and exceeded 1,000 scale miles per hour on my cars. And I've always enjoyed racing slot cars. And then I bought a few sets, and then obviously, the fad. I don't know if I'm not going to call it a fad because it's still not a fad, but the initial or the initiation or the initial grasp of it kind of lets go a little bit, and where you just kind of, okay, that's there, it's sitting there, it's nothing hurting it or anything. And now it's been sitting there. They've been sitting there for about 25 years, 20, 25 years. And just recently, I pulled some of my cars and stuff out, and I'll tell you right now, anybody that's looking to get into it, okay, it's money to get into it, but be careful what you buy, okay? If you buy equipment, what I call equipment is track, um, um, controllers, track, controllers, or cars, okay? Beware of the but that doesn't work slogan, okay? But that doesn't work because really, really, all right. Now I'm gonna tell you a reason why, folks. Okay, these are not cars that have been kept in a garage. Sun's not been shining on them 24 hours a day. Okay, birds have not been crapping on them 24 hours a day. It doesn't have hoses in them that are going to dry rot. Tires will dry rot. Yes, tires will. But that's not what you're worried about when you're buying these cars from an individual. You're worried about the train, the drivetrain on it, and the maneuverability of the cars. Say that twice, 3 times, right? And the upkeep. Okay, everybody's got a way to keep their cars, and I just happen to let my cars cool. If I've run them as much as 10 minutes, let them cool completely, and then I wrap them in plastic. I wrap them in plastic for a few reasons. Number one, if it seals to the car, then I don't have to worry about dirt, bugs, anything else getting in there. I wrap them 2 or 3 times. Okay. I mean, if you look at that car, it does not look like it is 30 years old. And it may not be. It's probably high 20s, maybe 22, 23 years old. But it's a good car. It's a great car. It really is. Then, if you're going to buy something from somebody, the next question is, how well did they keep up, or did they how well did they keep their stuff up? Did they let it go to pot and let it just, or can they tell you with rhyme and reason the reason they did stuff? Okay, tell you something. You learn things really, really quick if you have to buy it yourself. All right. Piece of racetrack, okay? It's got the rails on it. Okay. All right. Now, personally, this is me. I never let anybody race my racetrack other than counterclockwise. Okay. Few reasons behind that. The rails will do just like your hair. Okay. If let's say you comb your hair the same way for 6 months. All right, you comb it that way. The next day, it's pretty much going to go that way. Well, that's the same way with this racetrack. You want your racetrack to be leaning the way that you go. You want to almost be. You almost want it like you're already going downhill when you start. Okay, that's what you want. It kills me. It kills me when I see somebody. Okay, watch this. You go like this, but then you find some. I'm not even going to do it, guys. It hurts so bad. Grab a car and go backwards with it. Do not do that. Come on. Learn. Let your track learn. Oh, watch this. Watch this. Let your track learn. Look at that. See? Look at that. That, like I say, that's pretty good there. Pretty good. Let your track learn your cars and let your cars learn your track. Do that because I'm telling you, if you run them the same way every time, it's going to run smoother and your car is going to be faster. Obviously, you got to keep it clean, and you're going to have 100 people will tell you 100 different ways to clean it. Okay, Number one, I would never, ever put alcohol on my track. Ever. Never. If I'm going to use a paper towel, okay, number one, if I'm gonna get it wet, first off, obviously unplug it. Unplug it, okay? But if you're gonna get it wet, dab it and go the way of the track. It will dry, it'll dry quickly. Okay. Number two, if you've got yourself some clear tape, okay, if you're going to lay it on the track to clean it, pull it up the same way, just like the car you're going at it, just like the way the car would be going down the track. Okay. The car likes it a lot better too. See, look at that. Every car is not going to do that, guys. I'm going to promise you that right now. And actually, if I turn that car the other way, it may not do it. But so make sure somebody keeps up their stuff. And if you ask a basic question, what type of upkeep did you do to your racetrack? Well, it's been put away for 25 years. Delve a little bit, ask a little bit more. Be like, I mean, then I always get this because, all right, open this one up, for instance. I got this pack. Well, why didn't you ever open these up? All right, I've got 6 other sets. I don't need to open each one individual pack of everything I've got. Take care of your stuff there. Look, that's Union 76. That's when 76 was still before Sunoco came out. Rails. Why open your rails? If you've got other rails already open, don't open them. Your stuff will stay in so much better shape if you take care of it individually. All right? Your bridges, check it out. Never been opened. Never been opened right there. Yeah. Your stuff's not going to lose its value, guys. Flags. When you open a pack or two, open up, get what you need out, and then after that, use those every time you even go to any other track and use your other tracks. And, if it says go that way or go that way, obviously, I have it put in there a certain way that I know each piece of track is going the same way. I know it's going the same way. And that's what you got to do. Keep the racetrack going the same direction if you're going to do it. Keep up your racetrack. It's not difficult to do. It's not difficult. If you put it away for 10 years, it's not going to go bad. It's not milk. It's not ice cream. If you open it up, look things over, make sure everything's going good, going well. But other than that, it's not losing its value. It's only picking up value. And you always got somebody out in the world that finds something they like, and it's like, wow, where did you get that? I always get that. I get that from a lot of different folks. Let me open my chat up. Welcome this morning. I know it's early, but don't take people's word 100% when you're spending hundreds of dollars on racetracks. When you're spending $100, or on other type slot card type stuff, make them prove it to you. Make them prove you. See, yeah, that's not hard for me to do. Now he could fall, but I don't think he will. Does that show you that my car's in good shape, or does that show you that my track's in good shape? You decide that. Maybe it's because I've taken care of both. Yeah. I mean, you look at that car. It's not been drove. I can probably look at it and tell you. Yeah. It's probably got a couple, 3 hours on it. That one looks a little rough there. So that one, yeah. That one looks a little rough there. See? It's probably got 2 or 3 hours on it. The motor does not have that long on it. No, that motor. No. And you want it where it's free to roll, you know? You don't want to make it where you have to pull it. Okay? You want it freewheeling. And I haven't even put any oil on it. I've just pulled this track out. So when you go and ask, especially if you go on eBay, if you go to a yard sale and somebody's asking $50 for one, don't be shy to ask them. Say, look, what type of upkeep did you do to your track? Did you ever tape your track down? Huh? Did you ever tape your track down? And if somebody's looking at you like you're crazy, like, well, if I put clear tape right here and I pull it off, guess what? Any particles of dirt that was on there, they're off. Did you keep your rails clean? Did you keep your rails clean? Well, and it's the only one way you're going to prove that. It's only one way you're going to prove that. All right. Minimum, they should be able to do this. Okay. Minimum. But if you can do that, then all you got to prove to people is, okay, will your car run? Okay. Will your car run? And then if your car's run, you're not going to have a problem with things. See? And, you know, when you're showing things off to people, try to make it look half decent, half neat, you know? It doesn't have to be where, you know, you're throwing stuff together the last second. And that's, you know, I take pride in that. I take pride in it. I don't race them anymore. I don't even touch them hardly anymore. But there's no sense in them not running. They're not out in the sunlight. They're not, you know, birds not crapping on them. They're not sitting in a barn for 6 months or a year. They're sitting right here, sealed, put away. You know, still an original box. Okay, check it out. I mean, this was 92. This was 92. So what's that? Nearly 30 years ago. This is the box. Okay, this is all I did. I tore the box open on the end, right there. Okay. The rest of this box looks like it was just bought. Okay? And that's the set I just showed you. You do not have to rip into it. And that's the thing, folks. If you got little kids, teach them the right way to do it right off the bat. Teach them, look, do you want to have this when you get older? Take care of it. Take care of it. It's nothing that you shouldn't have and give to your kids. And if you don't have kids, pass them on to someone else or have someone that's interested in purchasing it buy it from you. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't know how much it means to me when I find out that people that buy stuff from me show me things later on and it's like, look, Rob, you know, I still got this. Well, number one, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, you should. But when they're bragging about it, at least I know that they're happy with what they got from me. But there's no sense in it not lasting. Don't put it somewhere where it's going to get wet. Don't put it somewhere that's going to get too hot. You know, keep them stored away. Keep them stored away. I got a few cars right here. Oh yeah, little Jeff Gordon car in here somewhere. Let's see, where's he at? There's Jeff. Yeah. I know you guys remember Jeff Gordon. Keep your stuff. What's going on, Amish Elvis? I've got myself a slot car showing this morning going on. Some stuff that I've had for about 25, 30 years. Yeah. And yeah, they're in some pretty good shape. They're in pretty good shape. I used to race them years ago. I used to race larger cars. And then after I got away from doing that, then I bought a bunch of sets of these. And I kept them put away in a closet. And, you know, you have your larger slot cars. You have like Flexies and Womps and stuff like that, where you go to different different tracks where they're electric, where you buy time, 30 minutes at a time. Oh, yeah. I had those as well. I used to race them and make money at it. I did it for 6 years, 35 weeks a year. I'd go to Virginia, so anywhere in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. Georgia had a place, I think, but never raced in Georgia, I don't think. But I went all the way as far as Florida. And I actually raced a 24 one time, a 24-hour race. And I think it may have run us about $150 each. It was eight, or was it 12? May have been a 12 lane. I believe it was a 12-lane track, and I came in second there first. I may have won there. But it was a 24-hour race. And Lord have mercy, by the time it was over with, I think it was in North Carolina. Yeah, can call. Yes, it costs a lot of money. That's what I've been telling people on here. Costs a lot of money. That's why, number one, you take care of your stuff. Take care of your stuff, guys. Okay? Doesn't cost you a thing to take care of it after you've bought it. You know? Take care of it. I am Rob. I've got a few racetracks. If you're interested in possibly purchasing one from me, I have an eBay site as well. All you have to do is let me know in the comments down below. Hey, Rob, look, it looks like you take good care of your stuff. Now, let me also tell you, I'm not giving it away. Okay, I've kept it for 30 years. I've kept it in great shape. I'm not looking to make a mint on it, but I'm not giving it away. Some of this stuff cost me $70, $80 at the time. I'm not looking to get rid of it, or maybe I'd like to get rid of it to people that will take care of it. But in order to take care of it, you got to be willing to sometimes put a little money out there. So, this is definitely not a advertisement for me to try to sell this. If somebody wants to do it, get in touch with me. I can hook you up. But if you're just like watching videos, I do appreciate it. I really do. I may even get one of the tracks out real soon. This one right here was a really rare one because Lifelike didn't have very many tracks that had banked track. This has got a banked track. It's banked right there. So even back in the day, this one ran about $100 back in the day. And that's been 30 some years, about 30 years ago. So, yeah, it can cost something. If you're going to buy from somebody, number one, make sure they got their stuff in order. Okay. Don't go buying a bunch of garbage that looks like, okay, well, it looks like he may have all the pieces there. No. Have it laid out. Okay, show me how it looks laid out. All right, there it is. Make a video for them. Show them, okay, this is the way the cars are run. Okay. Personally, they're not going to run as fast if they haven't run for 20 years as they can run. The longer they run, the more wide open and the more loosening up they'll get. But there's no sense to me. If I wanted to put this track together right now, there's no sense in any of these cars not running on it. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for it at all. Because I when I put them away, they were still running. When I put that track away, it was still going well. No excuse. So, unless your electric's messed up, Other than that, you should not have a problem with it. I like I say, I used to race, and I just kind of got away from it, and I keep my stuff in great shape. So if you're going to buy stuff, number one, if you go into a store, hobby store, wherever, do your homework. Figure out if you want Tyco. Figure out if you want AFX. Figure out if you do want Lifelike. Okay? Because a lot of them will say this. They'll run well on this track, or they'll run well on that track. Well, I'll tell you right now, they are all aimed at running the best on their own track. even if even if their track is made just a little different out of a different composite. Okay, it's all it takes. A different composite track can make, you know, a fifth, a tenth of a second over 20 laps. And a tenth of a second and 20 laps on these tracks is flying. Yeah. So I mean, it's all in. Let's see it this way. Yeah, there we go. It's all in what you're looking for, and all in what you're willing to pay. I mean, you can go to a yard sale today probably and go find one of these for $40. Will the cars run? Well, if they don't, then you're going to have to put some money into the cars. Um, is the track okay without having to rebraid it or re-rail it? Well, definitely. If you have to re-rail track, you're not talking tens of dollars. You're talking hundreds of dollars. So, make people show you what they've got. Okay, make them prove it to you. Look, it's that person's job to sell it to you. If you're the buyer, you have every right to ask. Well, look, will that run? Will it run? Now, when I say now, let me preface this too, guys. When I say that I would only run it this way, that does not mean that it. Now, I will also say it this way. I would not put it on there and run it a different way just to show somebody that'll do it. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. The only way I'm going to run mine is counterclockwise. Now, does that mean when you buy yours, it won't work that way? No, not at all. It should. Now, mine are probably trained very, very, the rails are probably lowered a little bit just due to the fact that, you see, it may not even hold the other way. I'm not even going to roll. I'm just going to turn it that way. It may not hold. Wouldn't surprise me. It did hold. I'm surprised though a little bit because I've never run them that way. I've always run them um, counterclockwise, and that's just me. Okay, that's just me being the way I am. That, but once you run your tracks, you'll see what your track likes and which way it runs the best. Keep them clean. Store them. Keep them stored, man. Do that. Do not leave them sitting on a carpeted surfaces for a month or a week or even a week. Not even a week. No. After you finish playing, put them away. Put them away. If you're gonna leave them out overnight, what's up, John? What's going on? If you're gonna race your track and you're on a carpeted surface, my statement is go find yourself a couple of tarps, a plastic tarp, put under it, unplug it first, tarp under it, tarp over it, and then once you're ready to start playing again, take your tarps off, plug it back in, and roll with it. That's what I would do. Don't leave it out. Don't let any dust accumulate. Play no toolbox. Yes, any kind of way. I keep mine, like I say, I just keep mine straight up in the way it came. It's not going to rattle. It's not going to shake. Shake, rattle, and roll is not for, that's for dancing. That's not for this. It's just not. America is doing pretty good today. America's not doing bad. How is where John's at? Where are you at, John? Just kind of showing off some of my slot cars I got. But yeah, if it doesn't do that, then you probably are like, okay, I might not want to buy it. All of them's not going to do that. I can promise you that they're all not going to do that. And I don't have any special. Magnets on. You see, all I got is those two light magnets on there. Yep, you come back from college and watch this. That's awesome. That's nothing wrong with that as long as it's not a bad video. Is that a bad thing or is that a good thing? But yeah, find what you like. Find what you like. If you're getting if you're getting into the 124th scale, 132nd scale, um, if you're getting into larger size cars, do your homework. You're going to spend a lot of money anyway. You're going to spend a lot of money. And my advice is find somebody. I am from the U.S. Yes, I'm from the East Coast of the United States. Um, my advice is to find somebody that may have used to had WOMPs, Flexies. If they know the terminology, then you know that chances are they know something about the cars. Look on YouTube. I mean, look on eBay and find out how much people are wanting for some of this stuff. My English teacher sounds same as you. Oh, really? She must be from the South then. I just learned English last year. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. I only learned it 3 years ago. No. But yeah, folks, when anytime you're buying and purchasing slot cars, okay, it's not just a game. It's not just it's not just you know, a little, toy. It really isn't. It's a sport now. It is a hobby. And make sure whoever had the equipment before you had it, if you're buying used, number one, kept it up, and number two, didn't, you know, didn't abuse it. Okay. Make sure they kept things in working shape, working order. That's not too much to ask if you're spending money on stuff. It's really not. If I'm going out here right now, I'm going to go buy a candy bar, right? Now, if I go to a yard sale and you got a candy bar sitting on a table, that package shouldn't be ripped open. I'm still buying a candy bar from you. If I'm buying I don't know, a book from you, and it's at a yard sale, it should not be missing pages. Things like that, basic stuff. And that's why I say, if you're looking to buy stuff from somebody, don't hesitate. Ask questions, man. Be like, when's the last time you ran it? Will it run? Will it run just like the first day you bought it? Why it should? It should. It should. If it doesn't, it's their fault. It's the way I look at it. It's the way I look at it. I've got, like I say, I've got probably 7, 8 tracks downstairs, down in my dungeon, right? And if I hold on to them till the day I die, that's fine. But if I find somebody that wants it bad enough, and it's like, guess what, Rob? When I get it here at my house, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get it out and I'm gonna erase the crap out of it. Then after it's done, I'm gonna put it away, and I may not touch it for a year. It's good. It kind of makes me feel good that somebody took enough emphasis to take care of the stuff that I kept up for, took care of for 30 years. So I appreciate that. I really do. So that's why it's not, it's me being selfish when I say I take care of my stuff. I don't do it just because it has resale value. I do it because this is mine. This is my stuff. And I take pride in it. So, it's just basic taking pride of stuff. So guys, if you're gonna go, whether you're gonna go to the big cars and race them and go to different areas and do it, do your background on the different tracks that you go into that they lay in the braided track down. If you're gonna do home tracks with plastic and rails, well, find out how well the person that, if you're going to take your car over to their house, how well do they keep it up? If they just, we're going to play crash them, smash them, we're going to play demolition derby, you may not want to put your car out there. That's just my opinion. But take care of them. I think Ed's a sharp looking ride. I really do. It doesn't quite. It's legal. It's got just that little bit of opening right there. It's legal though. Yep. Okay. So, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't touched it in a while. If you spend money on something, you have to take care of it. A lot of people nowadays don't, though. You're right. You're right. And that's one thing my parents instilled in me when I was a kid. I think maybe I may have went a few extra steps with it because my wife can attest to this. When I met her, I still had electric football, uh, different teams and stuff, all sorts of electronic sports games and stuff like that. I kept them up, and the reason I did, I didn't abuse them. I didn't abuse them. When I'm not playing them, put them away. When I'm not doing something with them, put them away. It's not hard. It's not difficult, guys. If you do see something in my videos that you like, let me know. Um, if you're interested in possibly looking at some of my sets of cars, some of my sets of tracks that I have, I can definitely show them. Um, I do not get offended if somebody says, "Wow, that's too much." So please don't get offended if I give you a price that's like, okay, it's a little bit more than you want to give. Okay, but um, good luck to you if you decide to go out somewhere else and find it, because you may find it a lot cheaper, and you may even find it in better shape than I've got mine. You could, but I like to think that I take care of my stuff, and I enjoy it. I enjoy doing that. I really do. So until I see you again, folks, I tip my hat to you. My name's Rob. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Don't slot car race and drink and drive. And if you're gonna go out and buy some purchase stuff, do your homework. Do your homework. Google does not cost a thing. Go out, find what you want. Once you find what you want, then go after it and see if you can get it for the price you're looking for. And then after that, have a lot of fun. If it's just you, if you have you and your sons or daughters, whatever, have fun with it because you only live once, guys. So till I see you again, I am Rob, the slot car man today. Rob, the slot car man. And Ward Burton says, have fun, man. Have fun. Y'all have a great one, guys. Thanks a lot.